Multiplying binomials. Lesson 8.4. You are watching this video with Ms.Y. Cavazos. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you how we'll be able to multiply binomials using the distributive property. Okay, so multiplying binomials, what this means exactly is that we're going to multiply a binomial, remember, two terms, by another binomial, two terms. Okay, in the previous video you learned how to multiply a monomial into a binomial, even into a trinomial. Now what happens when you have a binomial times another binomial? Distributive property is one of the methods that allows us to do this in a very understandable way. So how does this work? So let's look at what's happening here. We have two terms, A and B, that are being multiplied with two other terms, C and D. What we're going to do is we're going to take this term here and multiply it to these two terms here, as you can see. Next, we're going to take this term over here and we're going to multiply it times this binomial here, which is the same binomial that the A term is multiplying. So let's practice. Now it helps if we identify that this is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. So according to this here, it says that we're going to take A, which is X in our case, and we're going to multiply it times the second binomial. And here the second binomial is X plus 5. So X times X plus 5. And we continue with the second binomial, the second term of the first binomial, which is B, or 7. And it is a positive 7, so I'm going to put a plus 7. And we're going to multiply it by the second binomial, X plus 5. What we do next is simply apply the distributive property, which allows us to multiply the outside term times the two that are inside. So here we have X times X. Remember, X times X, they both have a power of 1. We can add those powers, those exponents, and we get X squared. Okay, so here we have X squared. Next we have X times 5. That simply gives us 5X. Next, 7 times X. A positive 7X. Then we have 7 times 5. 35, but it is a positive 35. Notice that after I multiplied every single term, the product of those two terms have a plus minus in between every single term. And that's what has to happen. Either a plus or a minus will be in between each term. So then our last thing is, okay, if we look at our problem carefully, could we simplify? Are there any like terms? Is this our final answer? So first you got to check, is it in standard form? Remember, standard form means look for the highest degree, the greatest power, here it is, and then you go down to the lowest power, which this is correct. It is in standard form. Next we check, okay, are there any like terms that I can combine? So here's the X squared term, here's two of the X terms, and then we have our constant. So the only one that we couldn't truly combine are these two, because these are the like terms. So then we have X squared plus 5 plus 7 X plus 35. So 5 plus 7 is 12, so this is just 12X. And this here is our simplified answer. Okay, let's try another example. multiply the two binomials using the distributive property method. So again, if it helps, we can label this A, B, C, D, and it's stated to take A, which is x, and we're going to multiply it times the second binomial, so x minus 6. Then we take the second term of the first binomial plus 2, and we multiply that times the whole entire second binomial. Okay, next we apply the distributive property. X times x, x squared. X times negative 6, negative 6x. Nothing else we can do. We move on to the next distribution. 2 times x is a positive 2x. And again, notice how I'm putting these operations in between every term. Then lastly, 2 times negative 6 gives us a negative 12. You look at your problem carefully and think, okay, can I simplify? And your answer is yes. These two terms in the middle, these are the x terms, can be combined, and we have a negative 6 plus 2, and x is what they have in common. Negative 6 plus 2 gives us a negative 4, so this is negative 4x. Bring down your minus 12, bring down your leading term, x squared, and this here is our simplified answer. Let's try another one. X minus 4 times x plus 10. So I'm going to take A, which is x. I'm not going to label my A, B, and C, because hopefully by now you've caught on. We're going to multiply this first term times the second binomial. Then it's the second term minus 4 times the first binomial. I'm sorry, the second binomial. Oh, goodness. Okay. We set up, then we multiply. X times x, x squared. X times 10 plus 10x. Negative 4 times x. Negative 4x. Negative 4 times 10. Negative 40. Do we have like terms? Yes, as you've noticed, the two like terms have been in the middle. So we combine those two, and that is a 10 minus 4, which gives us a positive 6 with the x. Bring down the minus 40, bring down the x squared, and here is our simplified answer. One more example. Take x, multiply by the second term, second binomial, then it's minus 5 times again the second binomial, then we distribute. X times 3x is 3x squared. X times negative 2 is a negative 2x. Negative 5 times 3 is a negative 15. Don't forget the x. And this is negative 5 times a negative 2. Negative times negative makes a positive. 5 times 2 is just 10. Can we simplify? Of course we can, because these two are the like terms. So this is a negative 2 minus 15. And that gives us a negative 17x. Bring down the 3x squared, bring down the plus 10, and we have our simplified final answer. Okay. Distributive property, it works with any type of binomial, like two pairs of binomials. Let's say, for example, we had x minus 8 times 5 plus 2x. Why not do something like that? We sure can. So here we would have x times the second binomial, then the second term times the second binomial. Apply the distributive property. X times 5 is 5x. X times 2x, 2x squared. Negative 8 times 5, negative 40. Negative 8 times 2, negative 16x. This one is set up differently. As you can see, my terms are all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write it in descending order, standard form. I'm going to look for the highest power, 2x squared. Then I'm going to put this term next to it, and that is a positive 5, so put a plus. Bring this one next to it because, hello, those two are like terms. Then throw this one at the end of the line. Finally, can we combine? Yes, of course. These two go together. And we get a negative 11. Negative 11x, do not forget that x. With a 2x squared here. Then a minus 40. And finally, we have our simplified answer. And as you can see, it is in standard form, which is very, very important. Your final simplified answer should always be in standard form. Okay, I hope this video helps. Thank you for watching.